Edmonton, he said. My son had just told me that he was moving to Edmonton. We stood in my workshop where at the age of 3, all by himself for the very first time, he pounded in a nail into a piece of wood. My son, all 20 years of him now, had just told me that he was going to Edmonton to start an apprenticeship framing houses, an apprenticeship as a carpenter. He stood there in my workshop, looked me in the eye and said, I'm moving to Edmonton. My son who has the same curse that his grandfather and his father carry, this nameless, faceless, pointless fear, this thing that kept my father and I chained to our pointless little town, unable to leave, unable to move, unable to go anywhere, unable to follow our dreams. We stayed in our hometown because we just couldn't face going anywhere else. My son had just told me that even though he carries that same goddamn albatross hanging around his neck, that he was moving 900 miles to the east where he has no family, no friends, no nothing. My son was moving to Edmonton. And all I could think of to say was, my God, that sounds scary. He looked at me and said, Dad, I'm terrified. I'm terrified. I don't know if I can do it or not. He said, He said, Dad, I don't know if I can do it or not. He said, I don't want to wish that I had.
It's working from out here.
Yeah, the high pitches, I can't hear myself.
I can put it lower.
He said, Dad, if I don't do it now, I never will. You told me to face my fears if I could. You told me that if I owned my fears, they wouldn't own me. And so I have to do this. I have to do this now or I never will. I said, son, from the very first time I ever held you in my arms, I've been proud of you. And I've been proud of you 10,000 times for 10,000 different things, but I've never been more proud of you than I am right at this moment. I've been spending the last 20 years terrified that I'd hear you say these words to me, but I've spent the last 20 years more terrified that you never would. So yeah, it's time for you to go. For God's sakes, don't make the same mistake I did. He said to me, I want to take Grandpa's hammer with me. Now, my father's hammer hangs on the wall of my workshop. It's older than God, I tell you. It's worn out. It's an old finishing hammer. It's useless. But it's the only tool I kept when my father died. I could not for 1 second imagine why he wanted to take that old thing with him. I said, my God, you don't want that old piece of crap. You're going to be framing houses. You don't need that. You need something like this. You need... And I reached up from my wall and I took down my 24-ounce S-Wing framing hammer. Man, I've had that hammer for damn near 40 years. Its head is almost black. It's so dark with age. There's a chunk missing from its blue rubber handle where it got a little too close to a skill saw one time. I swear to God, I've had that thing for damn near 40 years. If you blindfolded me, I could pick it out of 1,000 others just by how it feels in my hand. I said, you need something like this. You need to go get yourself a hammer like that. He says, Dad, I know all that stuff. You told me all that stuff. You taught me all that already. He said, but you told me that a tradesman becomes part of his tools. And the tools become part of him. And I figured if I took Grandpa's hammer with me, he'd make it out of this town. He told me how much he wanted to get out of this town. If I took that hammer with me, maybe a little piece of him would come out of this town and he would have won that fight. And I'd have some family with me. Well, what the hell do you say to that? I took my old hammer, I hung it on the wall. I reached up, I took that dusty old beat up piece of crap off the wall, I handed it to my son. And I just went back to work. I couldn't talk to him, I couldn't face him anymore. It's what happens when men expose a little too much of their hearts to each other. And 2 days later, early in the morning, as the sun was just coming up, after a brief, fierce hug that I did not want to release, I watched my son's taillights disappear to the east, and I cried like a baby. That was 2 years ago. Yeah, and in 2 years I've gotten a few text messages, I've gotten a few emails, I got a phone call 3 days after my birthday. He's not a hell of a lot different than I was. And I've worried about my son. For 2 years, I have worried constantly about my son. The other day, though, I got an email. And I opened up the attachment of the email, and it was a picture of a young man standing in front of a bare stud wall, the 2x4s behind him. Between them, you could see the horizon of the prairies stretching from here to forever. He's got a beard now. His hard hat is tipped on the back of his head, and he is smiling like a man tasting a new and wondrous fruit for the very first time. His eyes are looking at the camera like he is challenging the world to a fist fight, and I would bet the rent money that he's going to win. His t-shirt got sawdust and sweat stains on it. He's holding a tape measure in his hand. But at his waist hangs his tool belt, where it's hung for 2 years and it's well worn, and there's on the left side hammer loop. He's right-handed, so he hardly ever uses it, I'm sure, but in the left side hammer loop is his grandfather's hammer. And I thought to myself, now that is a testament to a man of his word. It's a testament to a man of his word. And I looked at that picture for a little while longer, and then I noticed hanging from his right hammer loop, where he'd reach for it every day 100 times, was a 24-ounce S-wing framing hammer. Its head is dark with age, and there's a chunk missing from its blue rubber handle. We got a little too close to a skill saw one time. If you blindfolded me and put that in my hand, I could tell it from 1,000 others. I've been looking for that goddamn hammer for 2 years. I've had it for damn near 40 years. And hell, in that time I've lost it 8 or 10 times. But I never worried too much, because it always seemed to find its way back. Thank you.